Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 Dragway Memories. Look at this, right into 2 ex-Petrie cars, Cloak of course, and the Doug Brinjack machine. That's the Eastern Conference winner. Al Van Gauthier had that car. Next up Westberg, Westfall and Warrens. This is probably the Stormalong number 8, 67 Camaro up against the Groovy Grubworm 63. Next up, the Car Belt against Bruce Fitzgibbon, the 73 Toronto International Superstock season champion in Bruce Scobie's old car. Next up, a Flame 69 Camaro.
Captain Hook, it's called.
Captain Hook up against Nora Real in one of the Entex Chevelles. Groovy Grubworm again, Chuck Daly, Daly and Sant out of Braby's, very famous Mopar guy, up against Keith Semanray out of Buffalo. This is a Sparkling Burgundy machine, Dale Therier. The Mimi, Rich Miriaki against Don Carlton, the only year he ran the Motown Missile. Looks like the Missile's going to take that one fairly easily. Next up, Soapy Sales, Larry Huff. He is a big-time Amway salesperson. Made himself a small fortune.
The Cowboy, John Piper, coming off the line now in his 4-door machine. 28x3 4-speed. And Eric Cramp up next. The late Eric Cramp. This car ran as a small block, originally a big block car. I did not know that until Bill just told me a while ago. The things you know. C Dragster getting a little out of shape here. We're not sure who this is. D Dragster, actually. Jimmy Moore. This guy's driven a litany of cars. We've got some photos to show you later. And coming up next is Sour Wine. This car was passed around a little bit. He gets really close to the center line there. He might have even crossed it, Bill.
Yeah, looks like Mike did a job there.
And we're still trying to figure out who this guy is. Beautiful Challenger with the plum crazy paint. We can't find it. The Varmint taking on the high and mighty Camaro, 2nd gen Camaro. Love the Camaros.
Yeah, I don't know much about them yet.
Here's another one we're not sure of, 69 Camaro. Neat car. Can't read what it says on the side. The Groovy, the Grub, and the Worm coming up now. Is it Chuck Daly?
Chuck Daly at the switch, yeah.
Yep. Braby sponsored. Up against the Die Hard car out of Western New York. Jimmy Moore rolling through the gears. He's coming up in a little special.
Davidson machine.
Against a coupe.
Yeah, and here we go. The unknown Plum Crazy Purple 71 Hemi Challenger 4-speed car. I have a picture of it somewhere. Can't put my finger on it. Smith Brothers, one of 2 LO29 cars. This is the automatic car of Burke and Jensen originally. Now being restored. The Die Hard machine, Jerry Hammam have something to do with this machine. Die Hard team still exists, still race today against Piper in his 283 4-gear car. Jerry Nowicki, this is the old Jansen machine. It still survives. It's out in Minnesota or something now.
Real deal, Hemi Dart.
Yeah, real deal, yeah. The good guys, Dodge Dart out of Jansen Automotive in Buffalo. Dick Barney Oldfield at the switch. Later on, they didn't like the paint job all of the Red Hat Special, so they changed it to this shot here. Looks a lot better. Erie County Dodge dealer. Barrier 1 about 70 made. BO23 car. Still exists. Then it became the Don Knight We Care machine. Painted it a beautiful blue. Didn't have it long either. And he sold it to Jerry Nowicki, who obviously painted it white. He had it for just a couple of years, and it's currently restored and in Minnesota, I believe. Don Knight, Hemi-powered 4-speed Vega. That's been a couple of different colors. They were regulars at Dragway Park. Kenny and Somerville, I'd like to build a model of that machine. F Modified Production out of Gordon Automotive. Kenny and Somerville, beautiful 69 Camaro, one of my favorites out of Gordon Automotive. Real deal 69 SS. They've got Z28 badges on the front fender. It's a 302 under the hood. You see the sharkfish scoop on top, riveted on top of the factory cowl hood, which is scary. Beautiful paint job on the machine. Not campaigned too terribly long, but they did, look at, they still has the original exhaust pipes coming out the back. Can you imagine doing that today? And here it is a little bit later. Got the Krager Super Tricks on front. F Modified Production, as I say, it's the 302. 4-speed, usually with a Hemi 4-speed in there. Nice launch. See the Lakewood slapper bars on there. That's Shots at Niagara. Stormalong machine, Westburg and Westfall. 67 Camaro record holder out of Buffalo.
Car won a lot of rounds. We see it a lot.
Oh, yeah. And another shot of the Fahey brothers. 4-speed gear jamming. Gotta love it.
And a Hemi. What do we got next, Billy? It looks like Pro Stocks. The old deal Pro Stocks. USA
yes.
1, Bruce Larson taking on Mike Fonz in the Missile.
Yeah, the only year for Fonz in the Missile.
Up next, we got the Canadian entry of Alvin Gauthier taking on the Mimi entry, Rick Maraki.
Rick Maraki.
And it looks like the Chevy's going to sneak it out there. What happens at the top end? Does he leave it? Some smoke out of the Mopar, and the Chevy one's Gap and Rouge taking on. We're not exactly sure who that yellow car is. Might be Ron Hutter.
Yeah, we think it's Hutter and the Gelmer engineering machine out of Ohio.
Gap and Rouge. A lot of great cars out of their stables.
Gap and Rouse, Jack Rouse, Wayne Gap. Their first serious Pro Stock effort in 1970 Maverick. Shotgun 429 here. Later had a few different versions of this car. Here it is in black and white at Cayuga in 1970 by the looks of it. 71 possibly. Gap and Rouge later on moved into the Pinto and they became very prolific. Sold an awful lot of Pintos and 351 Clevelands to a lot of racers. There it is in a legal race. Photo previous was a match race with Bill Grumpy Jenkins. And there we get into the taxi. Four-door machine. They was actually going to be a Mustang, but Ford wanted some later models representation, so the only wheelbase that Ford had that matched it was the four-door Maverick.
Now we're into the funny cars. Pee Wee Wallace, Alabamian, against the Jungle Man himself, Jungle Jim Lieberman. Lieberman gets out on him, smokes the hides, pedals it, and still takes the win. Up next, Arn Swenson. And Swenson and Lanny Mustang. What has he got over there, Bill? Is that the Frantic Ford?
Sarge Arciero could be.
Or Dodger Glen. Dodger Glen, and he gets beat anyway. Up, last one of this episode. Hill Brothers. Rapid Transit car. Against Custom Body car. That would be Tom Prock.
Yep.
And I didn't see it a lot back then, but a lot of smoke out the tires.
I don't remember them smoking the tires so much.
No, not on a run, but... Thanks for watching. See you next week. Don't forget, spread the word.